As President Biden prepares to lift Title 42, he's facing some resistance within his own party. Title 42 is a holdover from the Trump administration's COVID response, and it blocks migrants from seeking asylum and also allows the government to remove them from the country quickly. Some Democrats are concerned the president's move could hurt them in the midterm elections. Caitlin Huey-Burns is here with us now to discuss this possible political fallout from this immigration policy. And Caitlin, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Hey, Nancy. Good morning. How are you?
I'm curious, who is raising concerns here and what are they worried about specifically?
Yeah, Nancy, this is a really interesting dynamic within the Democratic Party right now, because this is an issue that's actually dividing the party heading into the midterm elections. On one hand, you have progressive lawmakers who have been urging President Biden to lift this Trump-era policy. And also, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has been urging the Biden administration to change course here. But on the other hand, you have a group of very vulnerable Democratic senators from states that will determine whether Democrats will control the majority in the Senate next year, and they are asking the administration for more of a plan. They are expecting, as officials are, expecting an uptick in migrants at the border because of the lifting of this policy, and they are pushing the administration to come up with some kind of plan. And that's telling, because that suggests, their moves really suggest that they believe this is potentially a political viability for them heading into the midterm elections. What was really notable earlier this week was New Hampshire Senator Maggie Hassan traveled all the way down to Texas at the border to push the administration to come up with a better plan to address this issue. So that kind of tells you everything you need to know about how some of these Democrats who will determine control of the Senate are thinking about this issue. But also yesterday, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, he's a more liberal candidate in Wisconsin running for Senate. He also started to push the administration for a better plan. So this is not only just those vulnerable members, but also those seeking to gain seats in the Senate, and even those from northern states very far away from the border.
And Caitlin, as you know, some Republican legislators have weighed in. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey released what some are calling a controversial campaign video on the topic of immigration. Let me play a little bit of that.
I'm Kay Ivey. If Joe Biden keeps shipping illegal immigrants into our states, we're all gonna have to learn Spanish. My message to Biden: no way, Jose. That's why I sent National Guard troops to protect the southern border. And that's why we banned sanctuary cities in Alabama. The left can try to counsel me, I don't care. But here in Alabama, we're going to enforce the law.
Okay. Caitlin, what has been the response to that video?
Well, Vlad, that's just a blatantly racist video. I mean, you just have to point that out.
Yeah. I mean,
really
the fact
itself.
that the governor of Alabama would suggest that learning Spanish is, in the way she seems to put it in this campaign ad, it's almost a pejorative, where Spanish is spoken widely in this country and has been since this country was founded.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and of course, coming from a state that has a very small Latino population in general. So it is a racist ad. And when you look at the politics of it, this is kind of the push from Republicans that we're seeing. Remember, we're in the middle of primary season. Kay Ivey is facing primary challenges from the right. So that ad really tells you about the politics within the party right now. And talking to Republican strategists, this is how they're thinking about this issue. One, they're pointing to, our own CBS News poll shows a vast majority of Republicans rank immigration as a top priority, a top issue, also with inflation and the economy. And they're also pointing to gains that they actually made among Latino voters in the 2020 election, not only at the presidential level, but in some of these congressional races as well. So they do feel like they have made gains, and they don't feel at risk as much as they used to in terms of alienating that group. What they really need to do heading into this midterm is really rev up the base, because midterms are, base versus base elections a lot of the time. So we're in the middle of primary season. That's kind of the Republican strategy here. border, and they are thinking that this will work. Now, remember back in 2018, remember when then President Trump was, warning about the caravan coming over the border and really pushing that. That wasn't effective in 2018. As we know, Democrats had a very good year that year, but the dynamics this time around are a little bit different given those gains that they've made in recent years.
All right, Caitlin Huey-Burns, as always, thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.